And when I died, it was just like I woke up in hell. Immediately when I woke up, I knew that that's where I was, because it's the most intense pain and confusion, and you're on fire. Everybody around you is screaming in pain, because that's why they say gnashing of teeth, because everybody's just in pain, screaming, and everybody's on fire.
Well, welcome to Ignite Fire Testimonies. We have Junior Daniel here today, and he has an amazing testimony where he actually died on the scene of an accident and went to hell and came back, and he's going to tell us about that today. So welcome to the show here, Junior. We're happy to have you, and please take it away. So if you just want to start off and just let us know a little bit about yourself and your upbringing, and kind of lead us up to, when this accident happened and when you had this encounter with God.
Well, growing up, I grew up from a divorced family, broken home, and I started partying in high school, and I got carried away with drugs and alcohol. Ended up selling drugs and hanging around a lot of bad people. And for a while, it was just partying and doing my own thing. And then eventually it progressed to selling drugs. And then eventually I was hanging around people that were stealing things and hurting other people. It's just a bad situation. My worst experience was I was on a high-speed chase with police officers. I borrowed a truck from somebody. I knew it was stolen. And I was with some lady, and apparently she belonged like the Aryan Brotherhood or something. So it was like it's like a high-ranking person's daughter or something like that, an Aryan Brotherhood. So I was a little worried. I thought like I was going to go to prison and get killed for this. So when the cop tried to pull me over, I ran, and I went into oncoming traffic, and I let the car roll and into a wall. And then we took off running, and the helicopters and everybody chased me, and they caught me in someone's backyard, beat me up pretty bad, probably deserved it. And then I was in jail, and then, and God saw me out of all of it.
Yeah, a lot of encounters. And this was truly like full-time life for you. You didn't have a job.
I just sold drugs and was on the streets. When I was on drugs, I was too embarrassed. I don't know, too embarrassed or too caught up to go home to be around family. So it was a different life. I just lived on the streets and did my thing that way. So I was really lost. When you're on drugs, it's almost like you're possessed. You're a different person. So.
And did you have attempts to get free from that outside of God? What kind of help did you seek, or did you have any freedom at all, or was it just full on?
I've been to 20 rehabs before that, halfway houses, but none of them helped. Been to jail, rehab, intense probation, tent city for 10 months. The only reason I didn't go to prison is my dad kept paying for lawyers. So that, and the grace of God, some of the charges are dropped. Like a dangerous drug charge, and just different things like that. So the morning of 2002 on Valentine's Day, I was on my way to go shoot some people that had beat me up and ripped me off really bad. So God, I feel like God intervened. We were driving, and a car hit us and flipped us over several times, and me and one of my friends, we were both rejected. He was killed, and they revived me at the scene, and I was in a coma for over a week, and when I died, it was just like I woke up in hell, and it was awful. It was just like billions of people screaming in agony, and it was just like you're on fire. And I was actually there. It wasn't like I was dreaming or like it was real.
Did you, like when you woke up in hell, did you know where you were immediately? You knew where you were, this is definitely hell? Or was it like, I'm in hell, you just...
Immediately when I woke up, I knew that That's where I was, because it's the most intense pain and confusion, and you're on fire. Everybody around you is screaming in pain, because that's why they say gnashing of teeth, because everybody's just in pain, screaming, and everybody's on fire. So you're just burning alive. Everybody is, and you just see faces around you. Everybody's screaming, and it was bad.
We hear a lot of people that, and not a lot of people, but some people, we've heard their testimonies of going to heaven with Jesus, incredible encounters in the spirit, and also going to hell and other spiritual encounters. And sometimes people, they're communicating and saying that, these experiences, they feel bigger than, more real than the life that we live now. What would you say about that? Was there any difference from your flesh and what you know as reality to this other reality that you were experiencing?
I can't really explain it. It's just you're on fire and everybody's screaming with pain. That's just, you just see faces and people screaming in pain, and you just feel like you're on fire, and it's never going to end.
How did you know that it was never going to end? Was it you felt like in condemnation and that this is your rightful place, or
Because I just felt trapped. I felt like I was just there, and I felt like I was there for a long time. It didn't feel like I was just there for a couple seconds. I felt like I was there for a long time.
did you have a sense of time still, or was it?
No, I wasn't sure if I was there for 5 minutes, an hour, a week. I don't know. I didn't know anything. I just know when I woke up, they said I was in a coma for a week. So
So it could have been a while.
I could have been there for 5 days. I could have, they say time is different in heaven or hell.
Wow.
So this is the car that hit us. And this is what the truck looked like afterwards.
Well, tell us, when you were in hell, you woke up. You said you prayed to the Lord. Can you tell us a little bit more about
Yeah, it was
what the
really
prayer
intense. I
was?
was just on fire, and it was just burning, and I didn't know what to do. I was just panicked and just out of my mind. And the first thing I thought of, because I already knew Jesus. I'd been to church before with my dad. I just never, I guess I accepted Jesus, but I never really followed. I just knew it was true, but I lived my own way. And so the first thing I did was I asked Jesus for forgiveness, and I asked him if he would just help me wake up from everything, that I would change my life. That I wouldn't be the same. And I woke up in the hospital bed, and I couldn't move, but I was still happy because I wasn't in hell anymore. So I didn't even care if I was paralyzed. And everybody was praying for me. They were crying because I had a blood hemorrhage, and they thought I was going to die from the blood hemorrhage. And I fell asleep, and I woke up the next day, and the blood hemorrhage stopped, and that was it. I just stopped doing everything. I never drank anything. I never smoked again, and just my life changed. So I've lived for God ever since.
That's incredible. So when you came back and you had your recovery, what kind of encounters did you have since then? What kind of experience and relationship did you have with God once you came back and decided to serve Him?
Well, I went to a program called Teen Challenge, and that was really, really good place. I really learned a relationship with God and Jesus, and they kind of teach you a new way to live again, how to like work and be a functioning person in society and a good Christian. And so I've spent a lot of time there. And then when I got out, I got married, and we had a son, and he had kidney problems, and he almost died. He had congenital nephrotic syndrome, so his kidneys didn't work. So we spent like the first year at the hospital, and he almost passed away several times. That was really rough, and I wouldn't let the doctors operate to take out his kidneys to do dialysis, because I thought God was going to heal him, but sometimes God is reaching out to help, and we're not listening. So I think that God sent the doctors to help me, and I wasn't listening. So So I changed my mind and said, okay, let's operate. And they took out his kidneys. We did dialysis, and my mom gave him a kidney, and it saved his life. So I thank God for that too. And also, when I was in Teen Challenge, they prophesied over me. Then they said I was going to be father to the fatherless, and apparently I had a daughter that was 12 that I didn't know about. So that was a trip that if someone prophesied and said I was going to be father to the fatherless, and I had a daughter out there that didn't have a dad. So
Walk us through that. How did you come to know, and how did you meet her, and what was that experience?
I just I had a friend that called me and was telling me he thinks I have a kid, and so then I reached out to the person that talked to him, and then did a DNA test, and I talked to her, but before we did the DNA test, she looks just like me, so I kind of knew that it was gonna be my kid, and so she started coming to stay with me, and I was trying to help her finish school, and we would take her to church, and her whole family had problems with drugs. Most everybody in that family is drug addicts in jail and different things. And she's the only person out of all her siblings and family that are successful. And she says that she thanks me and my dad because we took her to church and showed her a different way to live. So she lives with me back and forth. She believes in Jesus now, and she lives in Ohio, but she's a good person. So she has good morals and she believes in Jesus. So I'm thankful that I got to meet her and got to help her. That was a blessing in my life also. And I just thank God every day. I mean, it was a horrible life to live that way. And anybody that's on drugs, you can change. God can help you. God can change anybody. If He can change me, He can change you. Don't wait until you go to hell or until you die and it's over. You won't have another chance. So
What kind of steps would you say you're speaking to yourself right now, what kind of steps would that person need to take to really have an encounter with God and have their life change? What would you say that they should do?
just accept Jesus and start living for Him, and find a foundation and really just pray. Praying is the biggest thing, and fellowshipping with people about Jesus and helping others, and really the biggest thing is just helping others, showing love. That's what Jesus wants us to do. If you walk in love, then everything's going to fall in place. You're going to help other people. You're going to live the right life. Everything, love is perfect. So if you walk in love, it's what God wants.
Well, we're glad to have you here, Junior.
I'm glad to be back. It's not my story. It's God's story. I
Uh,
just want to tell everybody to please, if you're not saved, to get saved. I've been praying for people for 20 years. I have a list of people that need to be. They were having problems with drugs and life problems, and everybody in the list, it was like probably 20 people that have all been delivered and saved. It kind of just makes me feel like we're coming to the end. Like God's gathering all His people. So it's really time to change and accept Jesus before it's too late. You don't want to end up where I was.
Thank you for coming in. We appreciate your
God
testimony.
bless you guys.